So it's almost like saying there's a gene that gives you some kind of creative genius. Okay, and it's interesting to note that our genes do play a very large part in the makeup of this. More of the information from the genetic code is involved in making this up than the rest of the structure. Okay, so genes will affect your thinking. Okay, somebody tried to explain to me that all humans are born with the same brain. I tried to explain not, but our difference in brains cause communication problems, I believe. Anyway, the point is, if you look at the geniuses throughout time, okay, now they would have benefited, a lot of them, okay, but bearing in mind that your structural brain depends on your structure of your genetic code, often, okay, certain traits of behavior will be removed or will be selected. Okay, and selection, natural selection, depends on nature. Humans have been living in a society, a culture, a civilization for a long time, and nature has become less and less important on the selective process, but the social cultural aspect has become more important, at least until recently, and then everything went haywire, but not in all circles. Now, domestication of animals is selective breeding. You choose two animals for their particular traits and you put them together and let them have a little bit of fun. Hopefully they both enjoy it, but you're not really bothered about that. You just want the product. You're a human domesticator, as it were. Okay, when you're domesticating animals, you're a human being that's doing it. Or the term flat-footed biped came up this evening. So let's refer to them as flat-footed bipeds, not to insult anybody. Okay, so these flat-footed bipeds now have the power to select breeding animals. Plato and Aristotle, okay, had the idea of breeding the ruling class. Okay, so now let's look at the oligarchy and the ruling class in society. Who would these people be from the early stages? Okay, they would have been the people who had done something or had something that others didn't have. Okay, a skill. What would that skill be? It would depend, but generally would have been concerning the mind. The power of the mind became very important in society as it developed. Okay, so let's say that selecting on the mind was quite important. Selecting for beauty also was used in to balance that off. Domestication of animals was an early science, okay? And so was the domestication of humans. Think about it. Okay, you select people to breed together. This is a little bit more erratic because you're not having the full hands-on control as you would with a pair of dogs. My grandmother used to breed Irish setters, and very beautiful dogs. Stupid as hell, but not Irish setters themselves. My grandmother's dogs. Okay. We had an intelligent one, Lucy. She was the runt of the litter. Completely different genetic code from everyone else. I think mixed up from the back steps there. She was very small, different structure, and quite intelligent. Okay, the ugly duckling, but very beautiful dog, in fact. Anyway, putting that to aside, what you have to think of is selective breeding has taken place in certain families for a very long time. Okay. And if you think that the general aspect of the inventiveness of people would have given them an early start in early civilization. So you've got a fair bit of that, let's say, gene for creative intellect floating around between people who are breeding together. And it's going to be very predominant in those families. Okay. As I said, if two of these genes come together, you've got schizophrenia. Okay, so what you've got is a very high ratio of schizophrenia, because then you've got people with schizophrenia breeding with people breeding with flat-footed bipeds. Okay, no one insult anyone. To produce other people with schizophrenia, the genes become much more common, so the probability of producing people with schizophrenia is much higher. And then when you start keeping that selective group very small, you will start having problems. So if anyone wants to talk about eugenics, okay, and it's generally was classed as an elitist thing because Darwin's lot and his cousin and all that lot together, okay, or a bit like that. Our Royal Society, oh yes, great idea, yes, we'll use this eugenics, we'll breed perfect people like us. Completely fucking mad, excuse me. Madness is very common in that. You look at royal families, a lot of them. It's genetic. So think about it. 1 in 10 people have a severe personality disorder in the Western world. Ooh, what are we breeding? Part of that could also be the cultural effects, but if you look at other behaviors of psychology as well, as I said, genetics play a lot with this thing here, how it works altogether, and what aspects are more frequently common than the other, okay, you will see that the sociopath is the personality type that will rise to the top. I would class let's say the evil genius, okay, as the sociopath. The sociopath is an evil genius, very intelligent person, okay, but their intelligence very much focuses on playing a game to get to the top and manipulating others. The sociopath doesn't always want to be the top man, visibly. The sociopath is happy with controlling from the shadows. Sociopathic behavior. You will see them in the office. You have the office sociopath, okay. Look up sociopathic behavior, very interesting reading, very common, and the types of people who have it. Yes, I'm going to cut this short here because I've gone on about this for long enough. Just some food for thought, I hope. Just one final word on geniuses. Not all geniuses are evil. There are evil geniuses and there are other geniuses. And the majority of those are naive geniuses. I say this because the tunnel thinking generally towards a particular area cuts out a lot. It's like being blinkered. You have a perfect vision in that zone there. Outside that, you're naive. Naivety is very common in humanity. And often the naive genius is taken advantage of by the evil genius. So when you're looking into things, consider this.